Hello, everybody. My name is Noah. It was a great weekend of wrestling, and there were just two pretty damn good WWE events. How about that? But we are going to start with the first one, NXT TakeOver WarGames. So the 5-match card, and I was talking in the predictions video about this being TakeOver first. Well, there was never first in this one. I forgot to mention the first ever TakeOver pre-show match, because they used to tape NXT, so they would tape an episode of NXT before that, before TakeOver, and air it next week. But not this time. We had the first ever TakeOver pre-show match, and it is Isaiah Swerve Scott versus Angel Garza. I guess you can call this an impromptu number one contenders match for the Cruiserweight title. They did alright with what they had, 7 minutes and 35 seconds. The thing is, it started a little weird. It started with, it seemed like it was kind of botchy and they were a little bit out of sync, especially Scott. Maybe he was nervous or something. But they pulled through and they able to deliver a solid match, which the crowd liked. I thought it was a pretty good match. For what it was, and Garza won, obviously. Now, what you didn't see is backstage, they didn't show this. They showed this exclusively on Twitter or on YouTube or whatever, as a social media exclusive. When he got to the back, Garza got jumped by Lio Rush. So this feud is definitely continuing. Will Garza end up taking the belt off him? I don't know, but it's going to keep going on. Getting to the main card now, we started with the Women's War Games. Team Ripley, Rhea Ripley, Candice LeRae, Tegan Nox, and Dakota Kai now versus Team Baszler, Shayna Baszler, Bianca Belair, Io Shirai, and Kaylee Ray, the NXT Women's Champion. Now here's why Dakota Kai was in this. Io Shirai, Dakota Kai, it rhymes. Mia Yim was attacked backstage by somebody on the pre-show and was replaced with Kai. Now, during the match, unfortunately for Team Ripley, Dakota was about to enter, and instead she turned around and absolutely fucking mauled Tegan Nox. It was an incredible heel turn. She slammed Nox's knee in the door. She punched Regal. She said the word cunt live on pay-per-view. She was probably the first person ever to do that. And then she left, and then Tegan was out of the... I almost said Negan. Tegan was out of the match, and that made it 2-on-4. Just Ripley and LeRae versus Team Baszler. What an incredible heel turn by Kai, I gotta say. It was obvious. We all knew it was coming. But I saw a tweet that about summed it up. Obvious shit doesn't matter when it rules, if it doesn't matter if it's obvious as long as it's awesome. And it was great. It's fantastic heel turn. Now, obviously this makes Team, Candice LeRae and Ripley the big underdogs, and they fought to their, as much as they could. What was it? Shirai ended up doing a moonsault off the top of the cage and took out Belair inadvertently, and as well as LeRae. Kaylee Ray tried to jump and get at Ripley, but got hit in the head of a trash can, I believe. Now, Ripley had been handcuffed earlier in the match. They tried to handcuff her to something, but she fought it off, but she still had handcuffs on her. Baszler got her into Karafuda clutch, but Ripley handcuffed herself to Baszler, which allowed Baszler to let go of the hold, which caused Baszler to get let go of the hold. And then Ripley hit the Riptide on Baszler on the chair, and Rhea Ripley pins the NXT Women's Champion. And Ripley and LeRae, and technically technically Nox, I'm combining Tegan Nox, technically Nox and Kai as well, but, not really, win the War Games match. So Ripley and LeRae win the War Games match. Rhea Ripley seems to be getting a massive push here, which we will talk about more in a Survivor Series review as well. And it looks like it's going to be her, man. I mean, we're all wondering who the hell is going to dethrone Shayna. It's got to be her. Surely to God, it's got to be her. Shayna's beat everybody. It's got to be Rhea with how they've pushed her. It's just got to be. Moving on, triple threat for the number one contendership for the NXT title. Pete Dunne versus Damian Priest versus Killian Dane. The winner faces Cole the next day at Survivor Series for the title. It's funny, if you were say between this and Riddle versus Balor, what would get more time? Surprisingly, it was this. This got 19 minutes and 56 seconds, almost 20 minutes. By the way, the Women's War Game was 27 minutes and 24 seconds. This was a damn good match. Nobody really looked weak. Coming out of this, they beat the hell out of each other, to be honest. That's I mean, that's just what it comes down to. They just beat the hell out of each other. It ended with Dane performing a running senton on Priest, but then Dunn threw him out of the ring and pinned Priest. So that makes Pete Dunne the number one contender and gets a match at Survivor Series. Obviously, it had to be done. The result was kind of obvious because it's two heels versus a babyface, and Pete Dunne seems like out of the three, the only one ready for that shine to be in the main roster title picture. No, not shitting on Dane or Priest, but I just don't feel like they're there yet. But it was a great match. Again, they just beat the hell out of each other, really, and the right person won. So there you go. Moving on to Finn Balor versus Matt Riddle. Again, they didn't get as much time as I thought they would. 14 minutes and 21 seconds. They had a damn good match, though, and I mean, this was another obvious result. Balor hit the 1916 one clean. I mean, obviously Balor wasn't going to lose his first TakeOver match back, and I mean, it's not like Riddle hasn't taken a pin before. He got pinned by Dream a little bit ago, a couple of TakeOvers back. So I mean, it's not like he's not taking a pin, so he could afford to take one. It's not like they haven't built him as unbeatable, but I imagine Balor will not lose until at the very least he faces Gargano. I could see Johnny beating him, but until then, at the very least, I think Balor would definitely stay undefeated. I think it was about as much as you could expect, to be honest. Heel Balor just looks tremendous. He just looks hard hitting, and yeah, it looks like the Prince is back. So I mean, fuck yeah, I'm glad for it. And now the main event. Team Ciampa, Keith Lee, Dominic Dijakovic, and a mystery partner versus the Undisputed Era, who of course is Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong. This match was long, 38 minutes and 26 seconds. Now, their mystery partner did not start with them. Their mystery partner started them. They were all in a cage, and they were getting 4-on-3'd, and then the clock went down. It's like, okay, here comes the mystery partner. But it didn't come out, and then the Undisputed was like, oh, they got no one. Turns out they did have someone. They had Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is the mystery partner, which makes a lot of sense because he wanted to get revenge on the Era for attacking him on Raw. He took out the Era. Cole tried to convince him to join the Era. He did the suck it to Cole. Almost, they went in like the middle of the part of the ring, like the separating the two rings as like a metal sheet thing. And Owens almost did the package pile driver. He got him up too. He didn't actually hit it, but he almost hit the package pile driver. I really thought he was going to hit it. He's never actually hit it in the WWE because, of course. But then I think Cole ended up hitting fucking the Panama Sunrise on him on that. So, yeah, he killed him. And eventually everyone ended up fighting. The babyfaces ended up getting the upper hand, taking the heels out. Cole and Ciampa went to the top of the cage, and Ciampa hit the fairy tale ending on Cole off the top of the cage through a table and pinned him for the win. So Team Ciampa wins. Ciampa pins the champion. Ciampa will now certainly probably get his one-on-one rematch at the next TakeOver, which by the way, they announced is going to be in February in Portland, Oregon, which is where my sister goes to school, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, Portland, Oregon is going to be the next TakeOver. Probably Ciampa versus Cole main eventing. Will Ciampa get the belt back? Maybe. I could see it, honestly. Wouldn't be mad about it. I could see it. Overall, though, absolutely tremendous night of wrestling. But both WarGame matches were fantastic. I actually thought that it was definitely an A+ show. I actually thought that fucking the pop when Owens came back was tremendous, by the way. I just thought the women's WarGames match was better, to be honest. I mean, they had something to prove. It was the first ever women's WarGames match, and holy hell did they prove. Like, I think it outshone the men's, to be honest. Like, the men's was pretty fucking long. Women's was 11 minutes shorter as well. But I mean, yeah, they were both tremendous. I think the women's was a bit better, though. But overall, incredible night of wrestling. Don't think I expect anything less. So, like I said, up next, NXT TakeOver Portland is scheduled to take place February 16th, 2020. There will not be a Royal Rumble takeover this year. They're starting to separate the takeovers and the main roster pay-per-views, even though they just did one today. But there will not be a takeover Rumble weekend this year. Maybe it's because they're doing the Rumble in an actual stadium. Like, they're doing it again this year. You know how last year they had it in Chase Field, the Diamondback Stadium? This year they're having it in the Houston Astros Stadium. The home of the cheaters. Fucking, what's it called? Minute Maid Park? It used to be called that. Is it still called Minute Maid? I don't remember. But that's where they're having it this year. But overall, tremendous show. And the show that followed it up, Survivor Series, was arguably just as good. So we will review that a little bit later, but that is going to do it for my review of NXT TakeOver WarGames. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Join me back either later today or tomorrow for my review of Survivor Series. I'm going to record it right after this, but I haven't decided if I'm going to upload them both on the same day. I might upload Survivor Series review tomorrow, but I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you to all 28 of my patrons who support me and my channels and all I do. I appreciate you guys so much. They're all named in the description. You can also find all my social media links in the description. With all that being said, though, my name is Noah Taff. This has been my review of NXT TakeOver WarGames 2019. I'll see you guys next time.